I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. You read them, shake your head, and think, that won't be me. But here I am, sharing my story, hoping it helps someone else see the signs before it's too late. My wife, Emily, and I had been married for 8 years. We had what I thought was a strong relationship. Sure, things weren't as exciting as they were in the beginning, but that's normal, right? Love changes over time. You build something deeper. At least that's what I believed. A few months ago, Emily started coming home late. She worked in marketing, and her firm had taken on a big client. At first, I was supportive. I cooked dinner, made sure the house was clean, and told her to take her time. She always came back tired, complaining about the workload, but then things started to feel off. She stopped complaining about work, but the late nights continued. When she came home, she seemed energized, not exhausted. She started dressing differently, more stylish, more effort put into her makeup. I noticed she kept her phone close, which wasn't like her. She'd never been the type to be secretive. One night, she told me she had to work late again. That was the moment something inside me snapped. The doubt that had been simmering in my head finally boiled over. I told her, okay, have a good night. But instead of staying home, I decided to go see for myself. I drove to her office building and parked across the street. Her car wasn't there. I waited for a while, thinking maybe she had parked somewhere else. But as the hours passed, it became clear. She wasn't at work. I checked her location using the family tracking app we had installed years ago when she traveled a lot for work. It showed she was at a restaurant across town. My stomach dropped. I knew I had to go. When I arrived, I spotted her immediately. She was sitting at a table near the window, laughing. Across from her was a man I didn't recognize. He was leaning in, his hand touching hers. My heart pounded in my chest. My first instinct was to storm inside, to confront her, to demand answers. But instead, I pulled out my phone and took a picture. I needed proof. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, watching them talk, touch, and smile in a way she hadn't with me in a long time. Eventually, they left together. I followed, keeping my distance. They walked to his car, and when she kissed him, I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. I drove home in a daze. I wanted to scream, to break something, to pretend I hadn't seen what I just saw. But reality was already setting in. That night, I didn't say a word when she came home. I pretended to be asleep. The next morning, I decided I needed more evidence before I confronted her. Over the next few days, I checked her phone when she was in the shower. She had a passcode, which was new, but I noticed her laptop was still unlocked. That's where I found the emails, flirty messages, plans to meet up, inside jokes, even a hotel booking confirmation. I scrolled through the messages, feeling sick. The worst part? The affair had been going on for months. I took screenshots, sent them to my own email, and started preparing for what came next. The confrontation. That night, I asked her to sit down. She looked at me with mild concern, but mostly disinterest. What's up? She asked, sipping her tea. I slid my phone across the table. The picture of her with him, her face went pale. I don't lie, I said. I know everything. Tears welled up in her eyes. I never meant to hurt you. I laughed bitterly. You didn't mean to, but you did. For months, she started apologizing, saying she felt neglected, that things had become routine, that she didn't know how to talk to me about it. I just sat there, letting her words wash over me. I deserve better, I finally said, standing up. We're done. She begged me to reconsider, saying she'd break it off, that we could go to therapy. But there was nothing left to fix. Trust is like a mirror. Once shattered, the cracks never fully disappear. The aftermath. The divorce process was painful, but I knew I had made the right choice. She tried to salvage our marriage, but her efforts were too little, too late. I wasn't going to be someone's second option. It's been 6 months since that night. Some days are harder than others, but I'm healing. I've focused on myself, hit the gym, reconnected with old friends, and even started dating again. Betrayal cuts deep, but it doesn't define me. And if you're reading this, going through something similar, just know you're stronger than you think. You will get through this.